started. All right, can everyone see this beautiful mountain layout?
Yes.
Sounds good. All right, so hi everyone. Again, I'm Alan. I'm a third-year medical student, and I put together a couple what I think were pretty cool resources about some more accessible options for exploring this beautiful state that we live in. Moment. There we go. So first things first is access to a lot of these sites. So I found out about two cool opportunities for passes. The first one is called Columbine Pass. And this one is an annual state park pass that goes for $14. And this gives you access to any of Colorado's state parks for 12 continuous months. So you get it on, let's say today's August 24th, it runs out, August 23rd of next year. And the great part is that you only apply one time. So you send in all your information and paperwork just one time. And all you have to do yearly, just click renew online. Really cool opportunity, really great program that we have here. Also, we have, it's called the National Park Access Pass. And this is a free lifetime pass to most, if not all, national parks in the whole country. So even for participants here who might not be from Colorado, this presentation applies to you too. Some pretty cool opportunities there. All right, so first I want to talk about the track chair program at Staunton State Park. This is a park that's about 45 minutes to an hour southwest of Denver. And over the past couple of years, they got 3 or 4 of these track chairs. I believe they were the first park to do this, and it really allowed access to the beautiful nature they have there. There's a lot of water and a lot of wildlife, great views of some of the mountains there. Reservations are free after getting park access. And if I'm not mistaken, I'm not sure, but I think if you have that Columbine Pass, that should be free then altogether. And it's pretty easy. You just make a reservation online. There's, I attached all the information for that at the end of this presentation. And it's just a quick, easy, like Google form to fill out, and they'll get in contact with you to set that up. And I attached a little video that they provided. Let me know if the sound works, by the way. Breathe, you can just give me a thumbs up. Okay, let me figure this out. I'm sorry.
I would help, but I don't know how to make the sound work.
Okay, I don't know how to do this. So I will maybe just save that for afterwards when it gets sent out. How about that?
Great.
Okay, moving on. So Barr Lake, which is another state park about 30 minutes north of Aurora, actually adopted a similar program. They actually borrowed one of the chairs from Staunton State Park because of the success from that program. And they too now have one of these track chairs, and kind of highlighted here some of the benefits of Barr Lake State Park. And all you do is just call this phone number here and you make a reservation to use it. It's super easy. I actually called them just to check to make sure they still have it, and it was super simple. They basically walked me through the process. So really easy to do. Peaks to Plain Trail is another kind of newer trail, also about 35 minutes kind of southwest of Denver. And this is part of a newer initiative to build what's eventually they're hoping to be a 65-mile long connection between South Platte River and Continental Divide. So far, it's only 4 miles. So they're making their way there, but it's about a 10-foot wide paved path right along Clear Creek. As you can see, I attached some pictures here. There's also some portions of the trail with lowered railings that have been allowed to allow those in wheelchairs to fish there as well. So really cool. I didn't know about a lot of this until I started reading about it. It's a lot of opportunities. Also wanted to mention Great Sand Dunes National Park. Don't know if anyone's been there, but it is a beautiful national park about 4 hours south of Denver. And again, I've attached pictures of basically everything, but there's some pictures down here too. And they have these sandproof wheelchairs available for rent. So great opportunity to go and really explore some of this really rare sand dunes that we have here. It's also known for beautiful, clear, dark skies. As their website says, half of the park is after dark, and they offer evening programs from accessible amphitheaters on many of the summer nights. Ridgway State Park is another state park that is a little bit further away. It's near Telluride, which is a bit of a drive, but I'm not sure where participants are located. Maybe it's closer for some of you. Also here, they provide different, they have some track chairs as well as some waterproof wheelchairs too. So you're able to hike, to fish, and to camp all at this state park. And I mean, the views look awesome. So maybe I'll have to make my way out there one day. So switching gears a little bit, there's a really cool, I guess, compilation of resources basically in Boulder. This guy here, Topher Downham, he works for the city of Boulder, and he put together this really cool resource of about 30 trails in Boulder. And he himself uses a wheelchair, and he basically compiled these and added a bunch of information about accessibility, difficulty, terrain. And I put some examples. This is one of the pages in the booklet. As you see, they have all 30 listed here. And as an example, I chose number 6, for example. So these are the kind of information. This is the kind of information provided in this compilation of information. Like I said, all of this is at the end of the presentation, so it'll be really easy to find this afterwards. Wilderness on Wheels. It's another one of these boardwalk paths that's about a mile long. It's about an hour, 20 minutes west of Denver. And I think you have to make reservations to go there, but you get some really cool views of the forest, of some of the mountains. And they have some other like events that happen there year round, whether it's like camping or music and things like that. So there's a couple of bike trails that I wanted to share as well. This first one is a portion of the Vail Pass Path, specifically going between Frisco and Copper Mountain. So I attached a picture of just a little portion right here. So you have this paved bike path that goes from Frisco to Copper Mountain, has some great views, and it's basically this gradual incline that it's really cool to go. I will mention that it is a very popular path, which means there's a lot of fast bikers going downhill from Copper to Frisco, which may make this a little bit complicated, and there's ways to get around it that I'll mention, but I just wanted to throw that out there. Another bike trail is part of the Clear Creek Greenway. So that's actually what I mentioned earlier in this presentation, and this is the section in Georgetown. So it starts at the Georgetown Loop Railroad, where they have a train there, and it's similarly, it's a paved path that starts from that station and kind of goes in and out of some foresty regions and ends in the Loveland ski area. I added here also a disclaimer that this is it varies a lot based on weather and if it's rained and what kind of conditions exist. So just another one to kind of watch out for, that it might need some scoping out before going. I also want to talk about a couple of groups, a couple of adaptive outdoor sports groups. So Breckenridge Outdoor Education Center is a great resource where they have provided adaptive sports programs since the 1970s. As you see here, they have both winter and summer programs available, so like year-round stuff, including like skiing, snowboarding. There's various types of kayaking and hiking, and they're a really great resource for kind of getting out there in the Breckenridge area. And they also may have some advice for navigating those bike paths that I mentioned earlier that may have some bikers on them. Steamboat Stars is a very similar program that's in the Steamboat area, so a little bit further away. Kind of similar to the Breckenridge one, they have a lot of opportunities for adaptive skiing and snowboarding, and as well as summer activities too. Very similar. And you guessed it, another adaptive sports group that has a lot of very similar opportunities. This one is in Crested, Butte, so kind of scattered all around the Colorado region. And it's actually one of the few programs that has an adaptive off-road bike that you can rent there. So really cool opportunities there. And as with the other ones, it's year-round. There's stuff to do, and there's ways to get involved. Lastly is the Lockwood Foundation that I want to talk about. And this is a nonprofit that is focused on helping hikers achieve great lengths and maintaining accessible trails. There's actually an article that came out just a couple weeks ago about one of the members that actually she was a nurse at UCH and got involved with this program and managed to hike Mount Elbert. So a lot of really cool stuff happening, all within reasonable driving distance, super accessible. And then I lastly just kind of wanted to touch on some of these adaptive sport resources. I will preface by saying most of these are pretty expensive, and I don't believe they're covered by insurance. So this is more of an FYI, but I think some of these are a little more on the wishful thinking side, I would think, but I still wanted to provide this as a resource in case someone's interested. So these are action track chairs that are provided by Adaptive Sport. Sorry, one second. They're called Action Track Chair. That's the name of the company. Sorry about that. Various dealers over the country, and the closest one is actually here in Aurora. And some of these track chairs that they have at other state parks are actually available for purchase. There's a variety of models, and it's possible to speak to representatives from them, and they're able to get exact specifications, preferences, and really find one that's best for you. Another one is called Reactive Adaptations, and this was kind of a small one-person business. That's how it started, and it kind of expanded to be a lot bigger. And they make these custom off-road hand cycles. Yeah, it's founded in Crested, Butte. So a lot of options available. But like I said, a little bit on the pricier side. I also wanted to these are like some more shout outs for some other really cool resources. Denver County, so just around here, also has an adaptive sports program with a bunch of opportunities. I was reading through the list. They have like softball, hockey, horseback riding, dancing, a couple other things that I can't think of right at the top of my head, but I attached the website here. They got full links, information for registration, and just ways to get involved. TrailLink and All Trails are two very similar resources that provide information about hiking trails all around Colorado. And they have specifically made lists that are wheelchair accessible, and they provide a ton of information about the difficulty, the weather conditions. People can leave comments, and you can see, oh, this person from 4 days ago went and had a great time. So really, really cool stuff to use. Similarly, Colorado Springs also has resources like that. So if any of you are based in Colorado Springs, there's some options there as well. I didn't put it here, but Garden of the Gods, which is a very popular hiking spot in Colorado Springs, also has a bunch of accessibility options. I just didn't get the chance to put it here, but just kind of wanted to throw that out there. And lastly, the Denver Convention and Visitors Bureau also has a pretty handy list of wheelchair accessible services and tours. So these are what I was talking about. These are all the different links for everything I've talked about. So I'll be able to send this presentation out at the end, and these will be available. You can send them to people if you know people who weren't able to make it or who'd be interested. And yeah, I hope this was a helpful little talk.
Thanks, Alan. I think that was very thorough. So that's awesome. All different places in Colorado.
Yeah, it was all kind of new info to me, and it was great to hear about and learn about all these options out there.
We can stop recording, but because I got a couple chats from people that have utilized some of these resources.